Because this genuinely was a situation that started to turn me as a person.
There must be something in the water, something in your soul don't belong like the shark in the lake. There must be something in the water, swimming in the ocean all alone, caught in tides and away. Must be something in the water.
So I'm doing YouTube. And as I'm doing YouTube, I'm noticing that I'm lacking something in like the friendship department. Up until this point, I had never had like a gay friend, genuinely. I had a whole lot of good Judy's girlfriends. My girls in college that I met in college will always be my good Judy's. But I never had a gay friend. Never had a gay friend. I had a few guys I had fucked on by this time. I had a boyfriend. I had situations, you know what I'm saying? But never like a good Judy, a good friend. So I had to be like, I want to say a full year into my YouTube bag. And girl, I had dropped out of college. I dropped out of college because I started making more than my professors. Ooh, I should have mentioned that. I should have mentioned numbers. My left ear just started ringing. But in those early days of YouTube, I did not really like check my DMs like that very frequently. I just didn't, because I was focused on me, myself, and I and YouTube. I wasn't focused on no niggas and anything. There's so many DMs that I missed out on, because you have to understand, like, I was a dorm, but then I had became a dorm that had a name. The caliber of niggas is no shade kind of went up. And I had missed out on so much action in my DMs. But I think I missed out on so much action because partially part of me was scared. I was genuinely like terrified. I was like, I don't know what all this is. Like I said, I was adjusting to what all of this was. I end up checking my DMs one night, and when I check my DMs, I see this boy. And there was something about him, besides him being from Dallas, Texas, or living in Dallas, Texas at the time. There was something about him I was just drawn to. I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, maybe this could be my gay friend. But at the same time, he had slid in my DMs on some, it wasn't any clarity in like what he was sliding my DMs for. He clearly wasn't like sliding in my DMs on some subscriber shit, but he clearly wasn't sliding in my DMs on some I'm trying to fuck shit. It was like half flirty, if I'm remembering it correctly, and half like, hey, what's up? Something like that. Like, this boy just flows into my DMs. The reason I responded to him is because I would visit Dallas very often, because I had good Judy's in Dallas. I would visit Dallas, and that's where I went to school. I went to school 45 minutes outside of Dallas, University of North Texas. Shout out to UNC. I'm glad I mentioned the college, because that's going to come into play within this story and me going to UNT, just to build the aura around the story so you could really understand what it is that I was feeling and dealing with. So I ended up responding to him, and this was Cam. Eventually we become friends. I was genuinely looking for friends in everything and everyone. I wasn't a person that double screen stuff, nothing like that. I just was like, hey, what's up, girl? No matter what it was that I have ever experienced in life, I never gained like this guard until this situation. But we become friends, and there was always this tone, especially in the beginning, of like flirtatious. And I think that like I had ended up growing more than anything. I grew a crush on Cam. I have to be very honest. That's another reason why I didn't want to tell this story time, because I didn't even want to mention that I had a crush on this boy. A few months later, after meeting Cam or whatever, like I said, I'm heavy into my YouTube bag, and then I get a DM from, or an email. I get an email from this company or whatever. Shout out to my girl. I get an email from this company, and they were like, they wanted to host a tour for me. They wanted to like take me on tour, and I was like, a tour? Bitch, who am I, Beyonce? So with me getting this offer to like go on tour and blase to different cities or whatever, I'm like, hell yeah, bitch, like let's do it. Like, I'm just excited, but I wanted someone to tag along with me. And Kameron had ended up being the person that was like, you have to tag along with me, because by this time we and him were really good Judies. We were good friends. You get me? The tour lady had hit me up. I had told her the cities I wanted to go to based off of the top cities that was like in my analytics and shit like that, which were probably Philadelphia, New York for sure. New York has always been number one. And then after New York, it was like Philadelphia, or if not Philadelphia, Chicago, Houston was on the list, Dallas was on the list, and LA was actually on the list also. And I had told her because she just like just choose 4 cities. I had told her I wanted to go to Atlanta, I wanted to go to Dallas actually, and I wanted to go to LA and New York. Now the thing about me in New York is that I actually, for those of you who do not know, I got accepted to Parsons. I ended up going to University of North Texas and didn't go to Parsons because Parsons was too goddamn expensive. But I had always had this obsession, like this inner obsession. I was never like a kid that had an obsession with LA. I had an obsession with New York growing up. It was the New York Minute, featuring Mary Kate and Ashley, whatever their names is, bitch. It was Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I had grew up fascinated with New York. And on top of that, one of my favorite shows to watch was Project Runway. And if you know anything about Project Runway had always took place in New York, but Parsons had always played a place into, you know, Project Runway. So I always had this obsession with New York. I was just so excited to finally be able to go to New York because I had never been to New York. We do the tour days. I believe we did Atlanta first, and then we did Dallas. We might have did that. No, we did Dallas first. I think we did Dallas first, then Atlanta, and then New York, and then LA. I know New York was third, and the New York date arrives or whatever. I had paid for the hotel room because it was only in the like contract of like going on tour and things like that. She was only providing enough coin to pay for like a 2-day stay or something, enough for the meet and greet and a day after or some shit like that, or the day before, some shit like that. So I had ended up, because I wanted to explore New York, I had ended up booking the hotel room for the rest of the week with my own coin, okay? So, and bitch, we stay at the W, okay, in Times Square, okay, bitch, okay? She was giving really I felt really kind. So with her feeling her judge, I get to New York, and New York was everything I had ever imagined. Like, it was it wasn't just like the movie, but I had by this time imagined that, of course, there's different parts of New York that I don't know. Everything about New York was fab. Taking a cab to Times Square, it was just so fab. Like, my first time being in New York, oh my gosh, my first time being in New York, and I'm going on a fucking tour, doing meet and greets and shit, like, bitch, this was a little faggot's young, like this was crazy. This was some crazy shit. Like, I wasn't supposed to make it out. You know, you look on Facebook, on my Facebook page, bitch, there are bitches from my high school still arguing with each other. You get what I'm saying? I was not supposed to make it out, bitch. So this was all genuinely a shock to me, but I was carrying, bitch. I was Heflawless. We get there a day before the tour day. I believe we had a rest day. The next day was the day of the tour or some shit like that. I don't remember that part completely. I just remember that this story really takes place after the tour. So we experienced the tour. By this time, I had linked up with all the New York girlies that I had knew of or whatever. I linked up with my baby Tamia, Real Plastic from the original Storytime, which will be listed down below, by the way, along with the videos from the New York trip. All of that is going to be in a playlist down below because there are vlogs. There's to get the full context of the story, there's the original story time. There are, and it's like a fuck, marry, kill or some shit like that. 4-day accomplished, had a great time, blase. And then like I said, I had ended up linking up with all the New York girlies I know. It was Tamia, Sky Santana, it was the Victor Ramos. I linked up with my baby Victor or whatever. Love you, Vic. And then I linked up with Justin Marcus. So it was like a day or two after the tour day or whatever. Justin ends up coming over to the hotel or whatever, and we're just hanging out. Me and Justin, I remember like yesterday, me and Justin hit it off great. Right in front. Hi, Kameron. Hey, Justin. Our highlight just got us discounts in the background. Oh, we cute. Wait a minute. We went to go eat at BB King's, if I'm not mistaken. And we're at the BB King's eating. It's me, Justin, Real Plastic, and it is Cam, and we're eating. I think there was a portion of the first story time that I probably told a little fib about, I lie about. And the portion was, I believe, I don't know if I said this in the first story time, but this is coming back to my memory, so it's like I have to mention it now. But somewhere I had mentioned that Justin had asked me if I liked Cam. It was the only thing in the story time that was not true. Everything else in the story time was true, but that was a little tell that I just inserted because it's like, you know, inserted, dramatized. There have been points in my story times, yes, I have dramatized the situations. I'm so messy. Wait, let me clarify at this point. So I never lied. Justin was aware that I liked Cam or whatever. Point blank, period. I don't know. I think it has to be like a live stream or something where I did say something along the lines of Justin had asked me if I liked him. No. What had happened is that at the BB Kings, while everybody is tipsy and stuff, Cam goes to the bathroom and I say something along the lines of, I will ruin that boy's life. Basically giving, like, if I put it on him, I will ruin his life. Period. And this was tipsy. We were all tipsy and all things like that. And I'm going to say this again, but I'm going to say this again right here. Please keep in mind, everybody was young at this point in time. Even towards the end of this video, when I get to going off, that's just like unreleased emotions coming up, you know, but everybody was young here. I don't dramatize things anymore. It's not to say that it wasn't wrong or whatever, because it definitely could have aided to the perception and how some people, at least Justin claimed in real life, that some people at like different pride events would talk to him like he was crazy and shit like that. So we ate at the BB Kings and we end up heading back to the hotel room.
Got done eating. We just got done eating.
Hey y'all.
Hi.
We just got done eating.
With Justin. We was talking about some real shit, obviously. But
okay. Y'all.
Because we like to talk. I'm dead wobbling to the side. I'm dead. What'd you say? Okay.
I'm drunk.
This is gonna go in both our vlogs because we gotta put it back. You guys. Oh, wait. We was just saying how we feel like we're too nice to people, me and Ken.
We had a bottle of something and we're drinking.
What's going on?
This was all really a blur. Like, get back to the hotel room, play the fuck, marry, kill game. And as we're playing the fuck, marry, kill game, watching that video back now, I should have peeped that them bitches was flirting.
Y'all cannot even see me fuck out of yo.
I can't say yo.
Why are they being in?
When I call him daddy, I know he get in the panties. Daddy, 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 daddy. Or at least Cam was flirting with Justin. But in the moment, I genuinely wasn't peeping that there was flirting going on. But we're taking shots. We end up playing fuck, marry, kill. And then we end up just like all falling asleep or something. Me and Real Plastic end up falling asleep in the bed. In my bed, and then I assume that Justin and Cam ended up falling asleep in their bed. And it's like the middle of the night, or in Cam's bed. It's the middle of the night, and I'm woken up out of my sleep by. So when I had got up, I had to refocus my vision, and I'm like, what is going on, right? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because Franklin is over here by the window, like closing the window shade blinds or whatever. And I look up to see Real Plastic in the bed, knocked the fuck out, looking like Sleeping Beauty bitch. And then I look over to Franklin's bed, because me and Franklin wasn't sleeping in the same bed. Noticed that Made in Whoville is underneath the covers. Like, I don't know what was going on, but I was just, like, let me go take my shower. But as I got up and started walking to the shower, y'all, I quickly realized what was going on. Made in Whoville was not just under the covers sleep. Made in Whoville was under the covers as if he was hiding under the covers, like as if he was trying to make it seem like he had left the hotel room or something, right? So when I had got up and started walking to the bathroom, I had quickly realized what was going on. Oh, y'all got something going on up in here. Covers ruffling and moaning. And when I was woken up by this, I think it took me at least 5 to 10 minutes to adjust. Because, I was tipsy, girl. I was tipsy. I had to hone in and focus. I'm tipsy as shit. And I reach over, inching over, because I don't want nobody to know that I'm up. Girl, Real Plastic to me is laid the fuck out next to me, bitch, okay? I reach over and grab my phone or whatever, and I start texting my friend Carly. And when I'm texting Carly, I'm like, Carly, I can't believe this is happening. She was like, what's going on? I was like, these bitches are fucking or something right in the bed next to me or whatever. And she was like, but don't you like Kameron? I said, I thought I liked him. Cam was so far from everything that I had ever messed with. Point blank period. So the crush development, I don't know. I will say Cam was one of the first openly gay men that I had like a crush on. Genuinely. Like I would always mess around with like the trade and like DL niggas and shit like that. It's no shade. There was a certain like, at least what I perceive to be an innocence, and this bitch is a Pisces too, so like maybe that's what it is. Pisces just come off innocent sometimes, more innocent than they are. So I think there was this perceived innocence that I liked about Cam or whatever. I didn't want, and he didn't come off in the moment like a clout chaser or anything like that. You get what I'm saying? He didn't come off like one of the messy gays. He didn't come off like that for real. But this bitch was problematic. But I'm in the bed. I'm texting Carly and I'm just listening to moans. I'm listening to Justin moan out, Kameron. Like it was literally like, Kameron. And I'm gagging and gooping, bitch, but I'm also hurt because I felt like this level of betrayal, bitch. Genuinely, like I felt it. Like I felt so hurt at this moment because I just didn't expect it. I just did not expect it or whatever. But what I think the hurt really seeped in is when I had ended up getting up to go to the restroom. I ended up getting to go to the restroom, and when I remember this, that whole way to the restroom, I was playing like I was tipsy. And as I'm getting up to go to the restroom, I see a hump in the bed. Like they had completely stopped, and it's like they were hiding underneath the covers. I see the hump in the bed. I use the restroom, and it's just all like coming to me. Like what is going on in this very moment? And I want everybody to keep in mind also that everybody in Storytime was like very young. This was just very young shit. I'm in a bathroom. It's registered. It's like, oh, bitches is playing in my face. If there wasn't any playing in the face going on, why are y'all trying to hide? The icing on the cake was when I came out of the restroom. I seen these bitches like play pretending to be asleep. Like literally play pretending to be asleep. Y'all were just up. It was the betrayal of waking up that next morning after only getting a smooth hour of sleep and I cried myself to sleep that night. I wish that the phone that I was texting Carly off of was still available, but the screen is all shattered. It's broken. Maybe we'll revisit that phone one day because that phone it has some tea in it. But I still have it. Okay, I'm gonna go get that phone fixed ASAP, bitch. That phone has some shit in it. But no, for real, y'all. Like to be honest, like I'm trying to make light of it, but genuinely, I was hurt. I don't know how else to flip it. I don't know how else to flip it, twirl it, twist it, rub it down. I was very much so hurt, especially when I wake up the next morning. And I'm kind of just taking a silent role and everything because I'm like, I feel like I didn't have the authority, which I probably did have the authority to be like, what was y'all doing last night? But I think I wanted to see how far what I was registering as like betrayal was going to seep in. And it's like, nobody had said nothing. If I was in anybody else's shoes, and you can't expect yourself out of other people, but if I was in one of their shoes, especially Cam, I would be like, bitch, guess what we did last night? But it's like the bitches knew what was going on was wrong. And Kameron, oh bitch, that's who I really should have been mad at. Anyways, nobody tells me nothing the next day. That whole day, because the next morning I believe that Justin ends up leaving and going about his day or whatever. He peeped the energy was off. He knew the energy was off, but he should have knew why the energy was off also. That bitch got on that Storytime talking about they ain't do nothing. Y'all was doing something. If y'all wasn't fucking, y'all was definitely sucking. Or he was sucking you off. Justin, you got a big old thing. It was right there. When you first got to the hotel room, you were dancing in the windowsill. We were all feeling really good. Bitch, if he was sucking that big old thing, he was sucking that big old thing. Just tell it how it is. You get what I'm saying? Because if I recall correctly, you played it off like y'all wasn't doing nothing underneath the sheets. Everybody want to skip over what they do and just get to blaming Kenny. And if you knew you wasn't wrong, somebody would have told me something the next morning. Nobody told me anything. Anyways, me and Cam end up going on like to sightseeing in New York, because I had to go sightseeing in New York. And as we're sightseeing in New York, I'm giving him the silent treat. Like, the energy was off the whole entire day. I'm like, I'm not fucking with you right now.
It's not enthusiastic today. That's exciting. We're in New York City. Turn up.
I know he remembers that day vividly. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not fucking with this bitch. I'm not about to cause a scheme. I'm not about to cause a skeptical. Because one thing about it, I'm not about to get in trouble in New York. I'm not about to do all that. No. I've seen enough. I've experienced hell, so I want to experience heaven on earth. And me being that type of person has saved so many bitches along this whole journey. People call me messy. It's like, bitch, y'all just don't know how messy it could have been. It pisses me off. And the only reason I'm focused on the fact that this is something that started to be associated with the Heflawless brand is that this is something that eventually started taking stuff away from me. As much as I was receiving, there was just as many things going out the door. Especially when we get to, I believe, the next story time. And bitches talking about, I exposed them from having HIV. Me, a black queer creator, do you know what that did for me? Do you know how many people start looking at me in real life funny? And I'm not trying to be like blame game. But bitch, it's like, oh, Kenny the only one that had to take some accountability in this because Kenny was Heflawless. Kameron, you didn't start wearing makeup until late in the end of our friendship. And I wish people would pay attention to certain things. Like bitches wanting to be Heflawless. I want to be mature. But it's like, no. It's like, you have to be mature. You have to tell it how the fuck it is. And that's just how it is. Everybody wanted to be Heflawless. You damn sure wanted to be his friend. You damn sure wanted to be his friend. You did. Anyways, the day after sightseeing, end up going home. And when we go home or whatever, I make the story time. I upload the story time. At least this is how I'm remembering it. Because this was genuinely, like, this is the reason the story time has been so scattered is because I suppressed, this is something I had to suppress. Like, for real. I'm not trying to play victim, but this is something I had to suppress. The whole situation as a whole. Because I was mad at myself that after the fact that all this went down, I continued being friends with a bitch that I knew deep down inside. I ignored my intuition. And I continued being friends with him. After I knew that bitch knew he was wrong. You feel me? And I want to start and stop there. If nobody knew, if it was okay what had happened, somebody would have came to me like, bitch, this happened. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, nobody came to me and was like, bitch, this happened. And I'm a bitch, this happened type of bitch. It's my whole, it's like literally 60% of my YouTube career. I'm a bitch, this happened type of bitch. I need you to understand the amount of betrayal I had felt, which drove me to sit down on that camera and tell the story time. Tell the story time, go off on Snapchat the way I went off on Snapchat, because I went off on Snapchat. Yeah, I told Justin I will beat your ass. Because once that bitch got a whiff of what was going on, that bitch wanted to try to flip it or something like I was the one that was fucked up in the situation or something for bringing it to the internet and not talking to him about it. Bitch, I didn't owe you a conversation. I felt like I owed nobody a conversation, honestly. I felt like bitches owed me the conversation. And maybe that's my ego, but I don't think it's ego. I'm the person to check myself. I've always been the person to check myself. I check myself to the point of I make sure, like, bitch, it's for the benefit of you that I'm checking myself. You get me? I don't want to spread nothing to nobody. I don't want to do that. I don't want to project on anybody or anything like that. I think the way I'm feeling, the reason I'm feeling like this is because, like, it's not just Justin. It's not just him. It's a lot of bitches that have played in my face. Never again. I'm thankful for these situations because these situations have taught me. I don't even know how to end off this story time because this isn't how I had planned it out or whatever. I probably will have to refilm this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, but that's what happened. That's what happened. Because this was the true origin. I said Star was the origin story. Star wasn't the origin story. Everybody understood what had happened with Star. Now that I'm looking at oh, they understood what happened with it. Nobody called me messy for that. This was the origin story of, oh, that bitch is messy. This was that origin story. And I'm just trying to figure out how to be a bigger person. I'm done. Because I'm repeating myself at this point. I'm done. I'm sorry that this episode is like this. I'll probably refilm it if I feel like refilming. I don't know. If there's anything else to say, I'll be sure to insert it in the edits and stuff like that. But that's just the end of the story because I don't even want to continue. I'm fine. But I definitely have to get some things off of my chest. I'll see you for the next episode of Little Miss Drama, where accountability really comes into play. And I think out of all these stories, this next story is a part where I do have to take accountability. No matter what was going on, I do have to take accountability. And yeah.